Hello, everyone. I'm starting a new series. It's going to be called Ratemymahjongcoach.com. And our first coach is going to be Panda. I don't know if you want like the full name. How would you like to be called?
PandaSpy is fine.
Panda Spy,
Panda for short. Yeah.
that Panda Spy, Panda for short. And what would you say your skill level is?
Um, I guess I don't know. I've heard of a funny anecdote actually.
Oh.
So I'm 7 down on Tenho, and they have this funny story that goes where they ask players at various skill levels what they think their skill level is. So when they ask 4 to 6 dons, they usually say, "Oh, I'm an intermediate level player," and then
Oh.
when they ask 7 dons, they're like, "Oh, I'm an advanced level player." But then when they ask 8 or 9 dons again, then they say, "Oh, I'm an intermediate level player again."
What?
So I think that makes me an intermediate level player.
Well, isn't 9 basically pro?
Yeah, 9 is basically pro, but I think it's like the idea is like when you hit 7 dan, you finally start playing in Ho, and that's a very humbling experience, right? It'll make you feel like you know nothing about
Oh.
Mahjong. You'll get destroyed repeatedly, and you'll be like, okay, I'm not an advanced player. No advanced player could get their ass kicked this hard.
Yeah, but that's
And
not fair. At that point, you kind of have to say you are a pro, even if you're bad, even
okay,
if you're like the worst pro player. Once you make it into the
for sure.
hall, then you're like
Yeah.
almost pro. You're
Yeah,
almost
sure. We'll
pro.
go with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Almost pro
You're
is
you're
fine.
almost pro. Say semi pro. You know what? How about that?
Yeah.
Semi pro. My
Yeah.
mahjong coach, that Panda Spy, is going to be our first coach, and we're going to look into several games. I guess that we played together before. I think last Friday or so, and this is the table. Just like a little, I guess, context wise, is Navitas is considered one of the best player in North America, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's in contention for the best, but if not, definitely one of the best.
and Copper Roxmane, I believe she is in Master, I think. So
Yeah, Master 2.
Master
So pretty
2.
solid player.
And then I am me. And I said, "Hey, you three, come over here and play Mahjong with me because you guys eliminated my friend Hina and Rizul. So I'm going to take revenge on you guys." And we played two South games. And on the first game, I don't know if you're watching. Which one are you watching? The first one or the second one?
I think I pulled up the first one. I can look at
Okay,
my
so
notes.
so
Yeah, my notes indicates that this is game one.
yeah, so first one I ended up being third, and then the second one I ended up being second. But to be fair, I think I could have gotten first place. It's just that unfortunately one of the player got negative, so the game ended on that spot. But
Hmm.
I guess the idea is that those of you, the viewers, if you are watching and you want to improve, and I don't think some of the things that Panda is gonna say is not going to be only applying to, let's say, like semi-pro players or even intermediate players. It could just be even like little tips that beginner players even could have, and then when they're playing, I'm like, oh wait, I just heard about this, what if I implement that in my play? And that might just get you a huge boost in your intermediate or beginner lobby. So hopefully you will enjoy the series, and we'll kick right in.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go through the decisions in the first hand. Um. So, whoops. I think this hand seemed I think the standard play was fine. I ran it through Mortal, and actually Mortal considered cutting for Honitsu early, but I think this like the starting cut order is fine. Now there is optimizations that people like to give for the dragon cut orders.
Yeah,
Um
I think
but
Irie gave it to me, and it was so
yeah.
confusing. Ah.
Um I'll tell you so much as I have at some point I tried to optimize it based on like thinking about the Urador or whatever, and there's the optimizations you can do like that. But at some point I just said, listen, I'm just gonna cut the dragons in. I'm gonna pick an order of dragons and then cut them in that order, and then never have to think about it ever again. And I think that's how, like, in order to save brain power, it's a good way to play this game. It's a thing I would recommend a lot for the game is that try and come up with like there might be like a very optimal option to pick, but if you can find something that's almost as good as the optimal, but it saves you a lot of brain power, it's worth it. And I think Dragon Cut orders is definitely one place for this. So personally, I cut in the order Haku, Hatsu, Chun, so that's white, green, red. And I think the reasoning behind it is I've seen some charts about like how they're cut on Tenho, and like there's something about like the white dragon being easier to spot in the pond that changes it. But, like at the end of the day, you don't
That's
really have to worry.
hilarious. It's like a
Cut them
Where's
in.
Waldo?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
So
really
I think the
good.
white dragon has scored the least, and that's why that's why people all just say like, well, you should cut that one first, and then followed by the red. But it seems like the general trend is that people cut the red dragon last. Again, I don't really think it matters too much. So as long as you're like you can pretty much treat all three dragons as equivalent. And sometimes if you're reviewing with a bot, they'll say like, oh, I strongly prefer this one. It doesn't matter. You can ignore them,
Yeah,
right? Like they are
that's
practically
one of the
equivalent,
thing
right?
that I prefer over Mortal than like Maka, just like especially for that part, whenever I go through Maka's AI review, it would say like, "Hey, you should have not dropped Green Dragon there. You should have dropped White Dragon there first." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why is that?" And then it's just like there's like actual math and all that kind of stuff, but it is literally turn 1, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, how much is that going to actually affect my whole game? Like pretty much
Mhm.
near 0. But then it will take off
Mhm.
my mark. Like it would just give me a -1. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, Maka teacher's so mean.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And just as like on how like relatively inconsequential is, there's a lot of Mahjong AIs, and all of them will suggest like various different cut orders. Some will cut for safety, some will greed. They'll pick whichever one has the highest chance of becoming Uradora or like a new Dora. And then you have bots like Lucky J, where it seems like they're just randomly cutting the any Yakuais in any order just to mix people up, right?
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, as long as you have like as long as it's all as long as you're considering like a Yakuhai better than a guest wind, that's usually something that's standard. Except for some exceptions, I can point them out. Like if you're going for Pinfu, like it's not something that you should spend too much time worrying about, right? Just
Right.
know that yeah, there is a way you can optimize this, but the amount that you will get out of optimizing it is not very much, right?
Right.
So any which cut order um should do here. And I think like with this hand, I thought the opening efficiency was played very well. Like down to even like this is an optimization that I would talk about, which is that like you would prefer to keep your own guest wind
Hmm.
over these live Yakuhais because you're the only one that can use it.
That's
So it's more
right.
useful to you. And then yeah, so you can get rid of these other ones to prevent other people from calling pwn on that. So I think this was a good find. Yeah, and then after this, so Navitas Richi's here, and then I think you opt to fold, which is the right idea. That's another thing I noticed is that that was good, is I think you have pretty good like I think you fold pretty well. There's some players I've noticed that have like this decision on where they like push a little too much, and it didn't seem like you had that problem. Like whenever you saw the Richi comes down or somebody declared that they were Tenpai, you said, all right, I'm getting out. My hand is not a good Ishan 10, it's not Tenpai. And that's a good general advice I guess I can give to your audience is that if you're struggling a bit with grounding or push fold, try to start from the heuristic that you should push almost all Tenpais, right? Particularly if
Hmm.
they're good tempais. And then you need a really good Ishan 10 to push. And then if you're anything two Shanten or further, that's you need two different draws. You need to like fill two different shapes to get you into tempai, and then of course Ishan 10 being filling one shape. Then you should just fold your hand. At that point, your hand is too far away to contest another tempai. And that's the main concept is that whenever we push against someone else's hand, we have to remember that they got there first, right? So
Right.
we're trying to outrace them, which already puts us at a disadvantage. That's why, well, most of the time you need Tenpai to push against a Tenpai. So
So
yeah.
Ishan 10 is basically one away from Tenpai. Those of you who
Mhm.
don't know what that is.
Yeah. So yeah, this what is it? This north cut is fine. There's AP is also safe too. But like the more important part I think about folding is that we're cutting safe tiles. There are again optimizations that you can make here. The
Hmm.
idea is that like when we're farther away, we want to cut the more dangerous safe tiles first. So we might want to keep this north pair in case somebody else pushes in. But it looks like on this board state that everyone else is also attempting to fold. It's a little bit hard to tell because it's
I
early into
see.
the fold,
Because I think
but it
the
doesn't look like anyone
reason
has pushed anything
for
yet.
me to keep that 8 was because I wanted to keep that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as much as I
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
And then probably now that I saw that 9-man gets dropped, probably that's what I will drop, I think.
Yeah. The shape does have good acceptance, and then there's this idea of mawashi, which is like half pushing, half folding, where we throw some pretty safe tiles to try and keep our hand shape together to try and
Yeah, I think
keep
that's what
playing
I
the hand.
always
So I think
do.
it's fine.
I never just
Yeah.
fold. I just want to still have like my fang out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Fangs
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to be thinking about always, right? It's like you're always trying to look for a way to get back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but again, like with a lot of things in this game, there's a balance to it. It's like it's good with when we have a good hand that we want to look for ways back in. But sometimes if we have a bad hand, if we're looking for ways back in, we might be risking our neck and we could get punished, right?
Right.
But as far as from your games here, I think you had a very like um standard push fold judgment, right? Like you seem to fold as like yeah, you seem to fold as there was danger being shown up. There was a bit of an interesting Mawashi decision that came later on that showed up right. I think yeah, it was on this turn exactly. Oh, first this is something that I did want to point out as well. This 8M cut does keep our hand a little more alive, but
Mm-hmm.
when it gets late, our chances of reaching Tenpai are low. Like right now, our hand is 2 shanten,
Mm-hmm.
um, and even after cutting this 8M, and although it is like we can use Sotogawa as a defensive theory here because we
Right.
saw this earlier
Mm-hmm.
7M cut. I would prefer to go with Suji later on. That is because Sotogawa deal and rates can actually scale. Like early on, I think this 8M cut is a little bit better than like a Suji 3M even. But as it gets later into the game, a Sotogawa tile can become pretty dangerous, right? Whereas Suji tiles don't scale as much in deal and rate, especially Naka Suji. That's the inner Suji. So if you have a middle tile like a 4, 5, 6, take a 5 for example, and you see the 2 and the 8, that means it's Naka Suji or inner Suji, and those tiles tend to they tend to not get more dangerous as the game goes on.
I
Um,
see.
so yeah, so here 3M instead. But then another interesting idea here that we can potentially try is we can push the Suji 7S because it's getting close to the end of the game, and
Mm-hmm.
then we've gotten ourselves an Ishan 10 waiting. We need the 3 pin or the 4M to complete this hand shape,
Mm-hmm.
and if we can manage to if we manage to complete this, we can collect 10 Pi payments. Now this is another interesting thing, both from bot play and intuition, but 10 Pi payments are actually pretty non-negligible. The way we want to think about it is a swing, right? So some people might think about it as like, oh, like I'm only getting 1,000 for 10 Pi payments sometimes, but it's if you were in a lot of situations, if you're Tenpai compared to if you're not, the minimum amount of points that you can swing is 2,500 points, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's if it's like three Tenpais counting you versus 2 Tenpais not counting you, or one to 2 I think is the same. But that's why a lot of like when you review with a lot of bots, they'll like we have perfectly safe forests here, but I think Mortal suggested that we should cut 7S here, basically to hedge this Tenpai opportunity. But
I
of course,
see.
um I don't want to discourage folding with discipline. I think it's one of the most important skills in this game to fold with discipline, right? Like
Right.
I have yeah, I think it's great to find players who just say like, you know what, I'm out. I don't want to play this hand anymore. It's not worth it, right? Like it's a good mindset to have with this game because at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, you can only win so many of your hands, right?
Yeah.
No one has a 100% win rate. Even a 25% win rate, which is a fourth, is considered high because there's draws and stuff like that. So the ability to just say I'm out and I want to stay safe is a good skill to have. Yeah, and then I think the rest of this, there was I guess there was this other decision with the 8S pair cut. It's not Suji, and we had the Suji 7S and also the inner Suji, the Naka Suji 4M, to choose from here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the 8S does have one utility, which is that we have 2 of them, which means that if we cut it now, we don't have to decide the next turn on a safe tile. Now, I will say, I don't think bots like to look for this play, but this was a recommendation from a book I think called the Tenhoi Mechanism. I think it was written by Oshirase, who's a Japanese pro. But cutting from pairs to fold can be a good idea sometimes, especially when we don't have safe tiles, because it just clears a couple of turns for us, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I think this hand was overall played pretty fun. I hope I like yeah I did go into detail with a lot of things
No, but it
there,
helps. It
but it was just to
helps.
explain some
That's really
yeah
cool.
it was to explain some concepts. But yeah, that was a good fold, and I think everybody watching should fold well.
Like
Sometimes,
me,
yeah,
full
yeah,
like me. I do have a question
yeah.
though. You know,
Go ahead.
when it's considering Suji, I feel like
Hmm.
I don't know if it's true, but when a player discards before the calling Richie tile, it actually has
Hmm.
more potential of like it's kind of more strong. Like for example, it's kind of hard to tell, but like let's say this player discarded 7 mon before
Hmm.
calling into Richie, then
Hmm.
it's almost kind of like the Suji holds more power versus
Hmm.
after calling Richie and then with the automatic discard, they discard a seven
Um.
mon tile.
Oh, okay. I will. Yeah, there is a case in where the order of the Suji, or like the tile that you're getting Suji off of matters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one that it matters most for is the Ricci tile, right? And particularly say for a tile like it's middle tiles like a 4, 4, 5, 6, but also it applies to the Nakazuji shapes. They're just a little bit rare because they require more. Not again, every Nakazuji, like when a middle tile is passed, it clears both of the two outer Sujis. For example,
Right.
if you see a 5 pin, it's 2 and 8 pin are safe. But
Mm-hmm.
for the inverse to be true, you need both 2 and 8 pin to clear for 5 pin to be safer, right?
Right.
And the special case that we like to look at, which is like considered a slightly more dangerous Suji, is Ricci tile Suji. So if somebody discards 6S to Ricci, we're afraid that it might have come off of the 2, 4, 6 shape, particularly, also called the Ryankon. It's two Kanchans, right? And that shape frequently will keep itself. What happens is like you'll keep that when developing, hoping to fill the shape,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can wait on a Ryanman. But if you can't fill it in time and you end up filling the Ryanman first, then usually what you will do is you reach you with the 6S waiting on 2, 4S. So then
Right.
that 3S Suji is a little more untrustworthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's particularly for the Ricci tile, yeah.
I
Um,
see.
yeah, I guess and I think the Suji is more trustworthy if it like Suji trapping is something that players will do. So if you know a player has a tendency to Suji trap, then
Right.
you should be watching more carefully the tiles that they've cut from the hand beforehand. But if they've reached it already and then they discarded some tiles, then you know they couldn't have like planned that trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's just something the wall gave them. So then that might be a more trustworthy Suji, right?
I see. So it depends on the player. It's
Yeah.
not by like a default.
Yeah, I think if you're playing online rank, it's good to assume like a general player, right? Like most players will not have like super trap mentalities, right? But if you
Mm-hmm.
if you have a player read, like I knew somebody in that particular case I just described, where you cut the 2, 4, 6 off of, or you cut the 6 off of 2, 4, 6, they would
Right.
cut the 6S and Dama, even if they didn't have any Yaku, and they would wait until they got a tile that would allow them to Karagiri or empty cut. So they drew a tile that was duplicate in their hand, or
Mm-hmm.
something that allowed them to slide. Like say they drew 3S and they had 4, 5, 6S, or I guess not as though they drew 3M and they had 4, 5, 6M in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would reach you with the 6M, even though that didn't change anything about their hand structure other than swapping a 3 for a 6. It makes the 6S not be the Ricci tile, so that it doesn't look like it's trapped on 3S, right? Like to set an even like deeper, a layer deeper trap, right? In
I
general,
see.
I don't think you have to. Yeah, like in general, you usually don't have to worry about players doing this too much, but it is worth paying attention. Like what some players will do, this is a little bit sneaky, is they'll cut that 6S for one turn, and then no matter what tile they draw next turn, they'll reach on it sumo giri. So you'll see they cut a tile like from the outside of the hand, a tile that they just drew to Ricci. In that case, if you're tracking the tile, then you could track and say,
Ah.
oh, let me treat the 6S as the real Ricci tile, right?
Well, you would never know that, right? Like,
Yeah, well, you,
yeah.
you can see based on how people cut. Well, in Rishi City, they give you they show you if something is sumogiri or tadashi cut from outside the hand or inside the hand, respectively. But so if you're watching, it's a little bit harder online than in person, but you can track to see if people are reaching with the tiles that they just drew or reaching with the tile that they cut from their hand,
I
right?
see. That's
Yeah,
like double layers of trap. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, but
super
I'd say in
cool.
general, you don't want to you don't have to worry about this type of stuff too much, but this just shows like something that you can read
Yeah,
into,
just like to
right?
have like a notion of it, I guess.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, this hand so far is fine. Like it's the standard starting hand we want to cut our honors and terminals. And then over here there's an interesting idea. I think it's called like scrimping. I don't know if this is the official term. But the idea is when you have a good shape that's bolstered by a pair. So this it's called a round and pair, or like a Ramen +1. The idea is like this 3-4-4 shape. We
Mm-hmm.
want to confirm the 2-5M acceptance, or we want to confirm the Ramen. That's a good part of the shape. It has 8 tiles of acceptance. The 4M, while helpful, it is giving us an additional 4M draw where we could draw the Onko 4M and then complete the shape. It's only 2 extra tiles of acceptance. Now, on the other hand, if we look at the rest of our hand, we have this 1-3S bad shape and some floaters that we would like to draw around, particularly the 3P because the door is 1P.
Mm-hmm.
So we would like to hold those tiles to try and draw these improvements, and this form doesn't give us any additional, that much additional value. So when you have bad shapes and you have this round and pear shape, you would like to cut the 4M off of this shape. Right? I think you decided to go 1M, 1M here.
Wait,
Well,
what? Wait, but then you started with like that is a good shape, but then now you're telling me I need to cut that shape?
Well, this is okay. I should yeah. It's a little. It might be a little bit. I've heard people get confused with this before, but the idea is like this shape is already good enough without the 4M, right? So like 3-4M is a good shape
Okay.
on its own, right? 3-4-4M is an even better shape, but the marginal value of this 4M isn't that helpful, right? Like we cut this 4M, this is still a strong shape. But like let's just say like if we saw it as 1-1-3M, if we cut this 1M, the marginal value, well, there is like 1-1M out, but let's just assume this is perfectly live, right? This 1-1-3M can accept 2 tiles of 1M or 4 tiles of 2M to become a 1-2-3 or a 1-1-1 shape to complete the shape. By
Right.
cutting the 1M off of that, we lose 2 tiles of 1M acceptance. Like this is a little bit of boring math, but if the proportion of our draws acceptance at the shape lost is a third of the acceptance because we gone from 6 tiles to 4 tiles.
Right.
Whereas if we have 3-4-4M, we have 10 tiles acceptance, 2M, 5M, and 2 4Ms. If we cut the 4M, we go from 10 to 8 tiles of acceptance. So we only lose 20% of the acceptance of the shape. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Because I
yeah.
usually
So,
love to keep that. If it's like inner, especially if it's inner tiles and if it's like repeated number of like, I have a pair of 3 and then a single tile of 4. Like I try my best to keep those just because I feel like I
mhm,
can do more with it instead of a
mhm.
pair of outside, like for example, 1 mon here. But that's
Yeah.
something that I should learn and change.
Yeah, it is good to keep them. There's a case in which we do want to keep them, and that's when we have all good shapes, right? Then we can get the additional value of the draw, and then draw into something called perfect Ishan 10. If there's any examples in this log, I can point it out. But yeah,
Okay.
the idea is like this shape, we don't really want it when we're trying to build. If we haven't confirmed all good shapes, then we want to try and confirm all good shapes by
Okay, when
drawing
in
into
like
it.
a
But if you
very
confirm all the
early
good shapes, then you
building
can keep
hand.
it.
I
Yeah, yeah.
see.
Or
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. That's
Okay,
right.
understood.
Yeah. I think you cut this, and then the idea was maybe to hedge Tanyao, 1M, or like the pair is also cut, so you might have thought. I'm not sure. You can tell me if you
No, I
like
just
what
like I said, usually I tend to cut outside hand unless I have pair force. Like for now, I have 2 pairs with like one pair being 1 so, and then
Mhm,
technically one another pair is 4 mon. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have technically 2 pairs, and I don't need to have
mhm,
3 pairs, so I'm just gonna cut
mhm,
that 1 mon off.
mhm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is like the I think that's the 3 heads theory. Yeah, you don't generally for a normal hand you don't want to have more than 2 pairs. Like 2 pairs is good, 1 pair is all's right. 3 pairs is pretty bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but again, like this the other thing this 4M cut accomplishes is it reduces the number of pairs in our hand, right?
That's cool.
Uh,
Okay, okay.
yeah. hmm Yeah. So over here, you cut the 3 pin. Um, Now I see the idea. You probably wanted to keep this 1-1-2-2-3 shape here, right? The
Yeah.
Ariane.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is like if you draw 1-4S, then you can fill the shape and make it round. But there's another way we can see this hand, right? You probably seeing 1S as a pair. Since we kept this 4M pair, we can see the 4M as our pair, and then we can see these 3 tiles, the 6P, this 3P, and the 3M as sticky tiles, or kutsuki, I think is the Japanese term. And the idea is that why they're called sticky tiles is we can stick a tile to them and then draw a shape, right? So with 3P, it accepts 1P, 2P, 4P, 5P, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the 6P has some overlapping acceptance, but 4P, 5P, 7P, 8P, for example. And this is a good concept for hand building. I don't know if we have it. We'll come across any examples of like good, like even stronger sticky shapes. But these when you have confirmed blocks and pairs, these sticky tiles can be helpful. This is 2-10, and the more classic example that will be given is if we are 1-10. And that'll like and sticky Ishan 10 or Kutsuki Ishan 10 is a very good Ishan 10 to be in because it has a wide number of draws into Tenpai. But yeah, so we can cut 1S, and the other benefit is 1S is sometimes like if we like the 4S, we might consider it a backfire because oh no, we missed the draw that we were looking for. But in that case, we can also cut another 1S and then move towards Tanyao, and then we can get some value and callability in our hand as well.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think 3P cut is, or like the idea behind 3P cut is that bad. But if we are going to choose to cut a floating tile, maybe 6P would be better because 3P again has the door acceptance, right? We can draw 1P. But yeah, we draw a Ramen around this tile. Sorry. We draw a Ramen around the 6P, so it pays off for us. And then at this point, we're in Ramen Ishan 10, so we have 6-9M and 5-8P draws into Tenpai. And then I guess also let me know if I'm like going too fast or using too much.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, and then I think you reached this, which is textbook. I think like yeah, sometimes people use the term iron. I like using the term iron. Like I'll say like iron Richi when I think that, or iron something like iron chi, iron pone to denote a decision that I think is absolute, right? Like there's no debate. I think this is an iron Richi, and it's good that we Richi this. So I think some people will start to dama more for fear of like they don't want to take the risk. And while you could lower your dealing rate by doing this, you have to remember that everything in this game is taking a risk. By dominating, you're taking a risk of not winning points, right? Like what if you're taking a risk of missing your Ipatsumo and then hitting Ura, right? So this is the reason why I'm reaching. So it's a little unfortunate here.
Yeah, but what can you do, right? That's just something.
Yeah,
that's just the game.
Yeah, you make the right choice sometimes, and it doesn't go well for you.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that hand was played fine. Okay, so here this is a small high efficiency decision that I wanted to cover. I think cutting the guess wind here is fine, but this particular situation where you have a floating 4-pin or a floating 1-pin, or the opposite of like a floating 6 and a floating 9, this 1-pin actually doesn't have any unique acceptance other than itself, because the 4-pin can already accept the 2 and the 3-pin that the 1-pin allows us to accept.
I
right?
see.
So this particular 1-pin is usually considered either worse than or on the same tier as a guess wind. So it's something that we'd like to cut early. Yeah, particularly in this case, even though the East has been cut once, we're the dealer especially, and even if we weren't the dealer and this was just a Yahoo high, we would like to keep this to try and pair it up. Right. Double East can give us a lot of value here. Yeah. So in this case, like the East dies. So I gotta understand like the idea that you had behind cutting this is that it's pretty much a useless tile now. So we might as well get rid of it. But the thing is, a particularly useless honor tile could be kept for safety. And because this 1-pin doesn't give us any acceptance, we can get rid of it and keep the safe tile. Like let's just say someone really early slams a reaching out to the table, and then we're suddenly looking at no safe tiles and we want to fold. If we had kept the East, then we would be able to cut it to have a extra turn of safety, and that might buy us a lot of life. Like even if we deal on the next turn, it's like, oh, we dodged Ipatsu. Right, very good. Yeah, I think other than that, the efficiency decisions we're fine with this hand. Yeah, and then now we have a hedge towards Tanyao. And it's good that you're seeing Tanyao. I noticed in your logs that you see Tanyao. I think this is one of the strongest skills for Akaari or with Red 5's Mahjong, is to try and see the Tanyao in every hand, right? And then you did the standard Tanyao cut order, which was 9-8M. In this particular case,
I didn't even know about that, and it's like it's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. In this case, you can also Sakigiri the 8M first, and hold the 9M as a safe tile, because the one thing that Tanyao can't do is fold very safely to people, right? You're holding all the good tiles that everybody wants to build your hand, so it means that you might not have a lot of safe tiles, and particularly because the hand is struggling with safe tiles, and there's not many good shapes for us to draw off of the remaining 8M. Like if we draw the 7M or Furry 10, the 8M pair up is not that great when we already have this many pairs to choose from, so we can cut the 8M first. To Sakigiri to cut in advance, right? This is a concept I'll cover a bit. it is like I like again like you don't have to feel bad if you miss a Sakigiri. I think it's one of the harder decisions to get right. And there's like a lot of variant. Like some people like to play their full hand and play for acceptance. Some people Sakigiri really aggressively. So it is one of the more subjective decisions. And but there is like a lot that you can get out of it in terms of
Right.
trying to keep safety, right? So yeah, I think that comes fine. Okay. This is something I wanted to talk about in terms of a calling decision. I think calling opening for Tanyao is fine, but if you look at this hand in terms of a Tanyao hand, we have a lot of bad blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are a little bit slow. Now that might mean we want to speed up, but in general, when you call your hand open, you want to try and do it from the bad block. So like this, if a 5 pin comes down, I think it's fine to cheat. If a 7S comes down, I think it's fine to cheat. In the context of Tanyao, we don't accept the 1S, so you can consider this 2-3S a bad block as well.
I
Um,
see.
but yeah, right now 4-5-5 again, right? Like we talked about before, the Ramen and the Ramen pair is a very strong
Mm-hmm.
block. So that means it doesn't need much help. In a way, like if we're hand building, we should try and bolster the weaker blocks first, right? And then the stronger blocks are we're more likely to draw into completing them ourselves without needing any help, right? So we want to try to use calling as a tool to fill the shapes that we would struggle to fill otherwise, right?
Okay. I see. I
Yeah.
understand. I
Yeah.
understood.
Um, so yeah, and I think here you went and you cut 3S. And I think your idea is you want to hedge this 5M to try and draw a better shape. Am I correct?
I think honestly, if I can remember, maybe I just was keeping. Well, I knew 5 can be very flexible. It can
Mm-hmm.
be like you said, like the sticky tile, or it can
Mm-hmm.
even like
Yeah.
pair. I can even draw the red 5 and then get an extra Dora for it. And so it had a
Yeah.
potential. So instead, I would just
Yeah.
drop something that is less potential, I guess.
Yeah. And I think it's like yeah, you conceptualize the sticky tile, and we can make cuts and these cuts like these are a little bit better in closed hands. But the idea is in an open hand, you'll end up with bad shapes a lot of the time. But those bad shapes aren't so bad in an open hand, and the main reason behind that is because you aren't just relying on your own draws to fill bad shapes in an open hand.
Mm-hmm.
You can call for them, but that's where floaters become weaker because you can't call like in a closed hand. Let's just say we had 2-2-3S, like or 2-2-3, and then we're trying to draw the 4S. We're relying on ourselves to draw the 4S. Whereas the 5M is like, oh, we can improve its shape if we draw a 6M. We could get value if we draw the red 5. We could draw a 4M as well for a Roundman. But now the playing field is a little less level because when we switch to an open hand, then suddenly we can cheat this 4S. And some people say that doubles our speed, right? Not necessarily, of course, but the idea is that if you get it or your Kamicha, the player on your left, drops it, then you can complete the shape. So a bad shape becomes better. So that's your your 8-9 penchants, even your 1-1-2 penchants if you have a Yaku and stuff like that can become stronger in open hand because we can call for them. So that's
I
why we would
see.
want to cut the 5M here, right?
Oh, okay.
So yeah. I think let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I need to check my notes for this one. I think, yeah. So I won't comment on any other similar thematic stuff. Like we could even potentially keep this 8S because of the complex shape interpretation. It is
Mm.
like this. This is another. This is one of like the. I guess like I'll talk about it in terms of the in terms of like a sticky shape. This is an even stronger sticky shape, right? It's
Right.
called a Yonrin-K. It's called the Nobutan as a final weight as well. Or Yonrin-K basically just means 4 connected tiles, so you can think of it as connect 4. The idea behind it is that because a sticky tile is
Mhm.
attached to a shape, you get a lot more draws into it. Now because we Tanyao, we lose the 9S draw that this would normally have, but you could
Right.
draw 9S, 7S, 6S, or 4S, and then we would have a multi-sided shape that would result
I
from that,
see.
right? So this is a very strong sticky shape as well. Yeah, okay. And then here I wanted to talk about this 5M cut. Was your idea to Sakigiri this 5M or cut it before it becomes dangerous?
I think probably at this point, because I think turn before Copper Roxane called my 8 and I'm like, okay, now
Mm-hmm.
like people are chasing, like people are not like everyone's hand is open, and I think you called Khan, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like I am like before it was like I need to go fast, but now I need to go really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like kind of like do or die situation because I'm last place and also the dealer. So 5M
Mhm.
waiting for that pair or even like 4 or 3, like I felt like that was not gonna help, especially now that I know the 4 pin became a Dora piece, so I don't have to wait for
Mhm.
this like future 5 red 5. So I'm like, okay, like
Okay.
I don't really need that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think earlier with the less called board, I would be fine if we cut this early, so it's like, we're not hedging improvements, right? Like,
Mhm.
but um like if we look at how called this board is, right? We have Copper showing Tanyao with Adora, and then I have a Con. Sometimes people call this Con two calls, right? So I'm effectively showing like a three called hand, right? Because when people con, they usually are indicating that they're Ishan 10 or Tenpai. They're
Right.
usually pretty far along. The idea is like when you con, you're giving other people more Dora. So the only way you can compensate for that is if you're fast, right? If you're to Tenpai first, right?
Right.
That's that you reap more of the benefits of the con because you're more likely to roam someone before they can get Tenpai and roam you. And then of course Navitas is open here as well, showing Adora. So with this board, I think 5M has also become dangerous. It's a tile that's desirable to the other players. And we don't want to cut it just yet. But if we get Tenpai, we have Dora, we have 3 Doras in this hand. It's Dealer Manga, and we have to push. But we can hold off for now, right?
I see.
This is an idea. Like when it gets late, we just hold off and we let the we cut safe tiles, and then if we drop Tenpai, we push it. Right. The idea behind it is like if this does deal in, people are likely Tenpai at this point, so we can't Sakigiri against them, right? They're already Tenpai, and they're probably not going to change it. If they are waiting on 5M, then we would like to wait until the last moment to deal it to them, right? If we
Okay.
deal in, so be it, right?
Right.
But if we cut it early, then we miss an opportunity for other people to deal in, or other people to even sumo their weight so that we don't deal in, which will all
Mhm.
cost us less, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with your ideas that like at this point in the hand, it's a little too late to wait for improvements around the 5M, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's a similar idea there for the deal-in tile. We could have cut we shouldn't Sakigiri, we should just cut it and wait, right?
Mhm.
If we don't drop Tenpai, then we can avoid dealing in, right? It's a little bit unintuitive, I think,
Right.
but yeah, the idea if I give a quick summary of it, it's like when it's early, you can Sakigiri, but when it gets late, all like your Sakigiri becomes dealing it, right? Or
Right.
Sachikomi, as the joke is, right? Yeah. So yeah, this hand we already have 4 of the 5 blocks that are probably going to form up our final hand.
Mhm.
So we're pretty fast, especially with this Yakuhai pair. So I'm looking to call it down. Also, this Ramen has door acceptance. So yeah, we can cut our honors and our floating terminals first. There was a decision. Yeah, this is a decision that I wanted to look at here. This this call is fine. But when we cut 9s afterwards, I mentioned earlier about like the badge chase being good.
Mhm.
Um, we can get a 7s call here, and we have 2 pairs. So if we call the 7s, we can make this our pair, and then if we call the 5 pin, we can make this our pair,
I
right? By
see.
cutting the 9s, we lose the ability to call the 7s, which can be a very good call for us, right? It ends up
Ah.
not really being too much of a problem because we get this 6s draw, and then here, I don't know. Have you heard of a 5 block theory?
Oh yeah, that's my
There's
favorite.
a hand building thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, 5 block theory is actually a pretty important guideline for open hands because once you have 5 blocks or even like 5 semi-decent blocks in front of which I would say we have that. A Ryaman is a good block. This 5-6 is a good block, and then we have these the pair and then the pair Conchon block that interact with each other. That let us pwn either of them or chi here and all the acceptance. Like we already have what are probably going to be our final 5 blocks of the hand. More importantly, right, 4-6 and 5-6 and 4-5. If we look carefully, if we squint, we can see a Sanjoku, and that's a path to Mangon as well. We get the 6M
If
Dora.
they squint
Yeah, right.
really
Yeah,
hard. I think what's wrong
yeah.
with the mahjong players that like so desperately want Sanshoku? It's not even like that much of points. Like people want it more than Yakuman. It's crazy.
Well,
It's like a
I do think
sickness.
Yeah, I do think you can go overboard, but in this case, this is a Sanchoku we definitely want. So let's just assume, let's just assume we don't get Sanchoku. Let's assume this we win on 5-6-7s here, and then we get the 6M Dora even our best possible out, and then a 5 pin here. So we score our hand for Hatsu Dora 2. That's going to be 3 Han 30 Fu or 3900, right? Or 1,000, 2,000 sumo. So about 4,000 points. If we can get our Sanchoku in this case, we add another Han, making it 4 Han 30. That would be 2,000, 3,900 sumo, or 7,700 Ron, about 8,000. We double our points. One of the most significant Han jumps you can make, particularly with an open hand, is from 3 to 4 Han. It doubles 3,000 to 4,000, right? It's a very significant
I
Han jump.
see.
Yeah, here. So in this particular case, this Sanchoku is very valuable to us. And then that gives us another reason to Sakigiri the 7M, because it's a bit dangerous being near the door and all, and we've already confirmed our final blocks, right?
Ah.
So yeah, this was I think this 9S deal-in is pretty unavoidable, right?
I did not deal in
Or sorry,
9S!
it was sorry, it was or the 9S was I got confused. That was my bad. It didn't deal in, sorry. But yeah, like the 9S cut afterwards was fine. Yeah, and then like Navitas is fast, so I think was that I dealt?
Yeah,
I
you
forget.
dealt
It
the
doesn't
red
matter,
dragon.
right? Yeah, I dealt. So yeah, we didn't do it. Like that other than that hand was played perfectly fine. And then yeah, here's another similar idea, right? We have one block confirmed out here that we've pwned. We have another here, another here, and another here, and then that's our fifth block. We can actually Sakigiri this 2-pin. Now there's another reason. For a similar, this 2-pin is a bit stronger than like 1-4.
Right.
But 2-5 is a similar idea, right? When you have tiles that are Suji apart, the one that's outer doesn't have as much acceptance, right? Once it gets to 3-6, it's a little bit different because while they have overlapping acceptance, they both have Rhiannon draws on the other side, right? This 2P only draws a penchant, one
Right.
thing, right? But I think in general, like with Sakigiri decisions, I think if like if you're a little bit uncertain, like is the Sakigiri good or not, leaning on the side of not Sakigiri is usually better because you can take a turn to decide and be like, oh, I don't think this tile is useful to my hand, and cut it one turn later. It won't make too much of a difference, right? Yeah. So I think it's fine. Yeah. I think okay. This one's not too important. Yeah, and then there's like a bit of a floater decision here. Now if we cut the 5-pin here, and let's just say we draw the 3M or the 5M, ideally the 5M, right? And then if we can pair up the 5M, then we can end up with two good shapes, right? Like we have the 5M as our pair,
Right.
and then we have this Ramen and that Ramen, and that will be our final blocks, right? Those are our 3 blocks that we would ideally want. So I slightly prefer cutting the 5-pin here, even though it accepts the Dora, right? But it's not a very bad decision, or like it's not a very huge decision. Like this is still fine, right? Like we draw floating around here, and then we can cut the 3 and then half of the time. Sorry, you cut the 8 here, which is even better. We can cut the 8 here, and then we can have door acceptance guaranteed all the time, and we have another door around. And so once again, we have a path to Mangan. Door 3 Yakuhai. And then yeah, we get Tenpai. Unfortunately, we didn't get ideal where we would get to call one of these, and then wait on the 2-sided wait the Ramen. But we can yeah. So here, I think it's a little bit difficult to say whether 6M or 4M is better. They are pretty much symmetrical, so you can pick at random. Like you can roll the dice if you want. I think you pick 6M, which I think if I had to pick one, this one's slightly better because it's like 6M looks slightly safer to a pawn. So if we wanted to try and get people to fold, they're more likely to throw 6M than 4M. So yeah, I was fine with how this hand was played. Yeah, and then after that, you pretty much push everything because you have Dora 2. Even on a bad weight, it's pretty strong. So that was played perfectly fine.
Should I play a game?
Sure. If you want to finish up with the log review now,
because I think
been going
game
for a
might
long
take
time,
a long time too. It's like it's gonna be Southgate. The
yeah.
funny thing though with Irie, it did not take that long because there was a Yakuman in turn 3.
Yeah. I actually did go ahead and watch that just to see what it was like. I'm sorry, I've been going on for a really long time and rambling.
No, but it was all very useful, and I think I kind of needed that. But it's always kind of confusing, right? You would think like, okay, like when I look at my hand, I feel like this is the shape that I see, and then you cut it thinking like that way. But then actuality, with the tile being drawn, your hand shape changes, and then what you discarded was totally wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
It's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
oh, I think that's like the hardest part.
Yeah, I think the best Mahjong players have a good pre-computing ability, so they basically can like visualize all the features of that their hand can develop into, and then that like they're really good at determining like, oh, like do I need to hedge a Sanchoku here, and they visualize their hand developing. They're like, it's very unlikely I'll get Sanchoku here, or they'll visualize their hand developing. And they'll be like, I could get Sanchoku here, so let's leave it open, right? Like that's like it takes practice, and it's good like if you're thinking about it already, right? And then as you practice more and more, it'll get easier and easier, and eventually you'll be able to see your hand like like 3 draws into the future, right? And then you'll feel like a very strong player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I guess at that point it becomes like a chess. You're basically seeing,
Mhm.
you know, like 8 steps, or I guess not really 8 steps, but like 3 steps ahead, 4 steps ahead, kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
I think that's a good way to think about it. But there's a lot of certainty in chess. Like if you're playing against a really strong player, you know the moves that they're gonna make. There's a ton of uncertainty in this game. So the way that you have to like when you visualize your hand developing, it blooms really fast. Like you visualize different things. Like what if this guy reaches? What if I get to call this tile? What if I draw this tile? Right? What if this happens? Right? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sharing my screen and the game has started.
Yeah,
Just letting you know. It might.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then
Okay.
yeah.
I guess what kind of like I should ask like I'm gonna be backseating I guess a bit. Should I like do you prefer that I comment on things as I see them or wait until you make your decision and then I tell you afterwards? What would you prefer?
I guess if I have question, I could ask. And then
Okay.
yeah, it's like, should I do this? Should I do that? And then maybe you could be like, maybe you should do that.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And
then
then
yeah,
for you, you say you like to cut it white, green, red?
Yeah. That's usually the order I cut in, just to not have to think
Oh.
about it.
Well, how do you feel about green, white, red?
Green, white, red is probably also fine. There's some people who say that like you want to cut green early because it deals into all green.
Yeah. I'm like, I
Yeah.
just like the
Okay,
green, white, red. But I like your theory of how like white block, like white tile stands out, so it like deals
Yeah.
in more.
It's a little
No!
unfortunate. My bad.
It should have
Little
been white, green, red.
Yeah.
There's all these theories you can build up, but then the tile that you draw says like, nope, does not matter.
Yeah. Yeah, on Mahjong Soul and Ricci City, they let you highlight the tiles, so it's usually easier to spot out the other tiles. But on
that's
Tenho,
true, that's
like
true.
you don't get the tile highlighting, so then the white becomes like a lot more obvious than the green and the red, which can sometimes get lost in the mix of the tiles, right?
That
There's
makes
some other
sense.
green tiles, there's some other red tiles, and it's a little hard to see. Wow, this hand's been developing really nicely.
It's
Right.
crazy. I need to win, dude. I need to get into master. I was literally, I don't know if you know the sad story. I was 1 win away from going into master 1, but but then somehow I started losing and I lost all the way to expert 1. Like
Wow,
just
that's
kept
brutal.
on losing. I think it happens to everyone, like to every mahjong player, that like once in their lifetime. It's just that like you know, I'm sure there is mental like like the tilting and all that kind of stuff that happens that you couldn't really stop it. But I dropped all the way down to expert 1 from 1 win away, which was really sad. And then now I am actually so close, like almost.
Yeah.
I was actually 2 win away from master 1 and I lost like 2 games.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it is something a lot of Mahjong players go through, and just like the game has so much variance as you naturally play over time, you'll encounter more unlucky and lucky things, right? So
Yeah.
I always see a lot of new players like they're sad that they missed out on a Yakuman hand. My advice to you would be keep playing. You're going to be presented another opportunity to win that Yakuman, right? And if you keep playing, it's pretty much inevitable that you'll win Yakuman hands. So I think that hand was played very well. It was a sticky Ishanten, or Kritsuki Ishanten, as I mentioned earlier. And we saw that the 6M draw gave us a very nice draw, the Nakabukure shape, or the bulging float shape, the 5, 6, 6, 7. If we draw any of 4, 5, 7, 8M there, it would give us a 2-sided shape. And then we also had the 4P to draw us, Ipeiko and other 2-sided shapes in the red 5. The one thing that I would point out is that when you cut the east, there was a double east compared to the 1 pin, and again, we can isolate the 1 4-pin floating shape. I would have preferred to keep the double east, because if we pair that up, it's a very nice Ricci, right? We got Ricci and then double east if we can win on the
I
east
see.
tile. But other than that, this hand was played perfectly, right? I think you won't be long until you hit master.
I hope so, because like every time I lose, I just feel like I'm not losing per se. It's like the game is making me lose. Like there are games that I play perfectly fine, and then I'll call Ricci, and it's the solid, like, what was it you call, like Iron Ricci? Like
Yeah,
it's you
Iron
gotta
Ricci.
like call it right.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah,
It's so
another
stupid.
another unfortunate
It's
situation
so
here.
stupid. Oh my gosh. And like, like for this, like, it was Iron Richie. It was obviously, if I didn't call Richie there, I think it would have been wrong, because especially I'm the
Mhm.
dealer. But
Mhm.
then, with auto discard, I will just deal in. And with like the worst lock, it's the red 5.
Yeah,
Giving them
it's
more
unfortunate sometimes.
points. And then in the last 2 rounds, I would do my best to get to at least like 3rd, because I would be like 4th. And then like I would just not get good tiles, and
Mhm.
I would just lose. And I'm like, well, what can you do? Because there was nothing I could do. And I'll play another game, and I same thing happens, and I'm just like, all right, I need to walk away. I can't play this anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes a break is what we need. I think over there when we had the West, it might have been worth cutting the 9p. Again, it's like kind of like the hidden thing where we have the
that's
6, 8, 9
right.
shape.
That's
right? It's
right.
the same idea. Yeah. The other idea is like we had 3 blocks for Honitsu, a half flush hand. And typically they say the breaking point's at 4 blocks when you can start sending Honitsu. And then also this Honitsu is in the Dora suit, which is another point in favor of it. So it's something I would have liked to hedge, just a route to value. Like we're a little bit behind right now, and we don't have to think too much about playing desperately for points. But if we're offered an opportunity to hedge towards that, it's a good idea to think about it and not turn it down. I think playing efficiently isn't too bad because our Honitsu is a bit far away.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I gotta open my eyes and then like truly see my tiles.
Yeah.
This is always something that I'm like,
choice.
geez. Well, I need to have a pair, obviously. Honestly, I don't believe in 1, 2, 3. That's.
Yeah, you could break a block here. The idea I was looking at, I mean, this hedges Tanya as well. The idea I was looking at is maybe cutting 1s with it 1 depleted, and then we can treat the 8 pin as our pair. Maybe we can try and move towards a Tanya hand, which is pretty, like, we want the speed of Tanya because there's a red 5s in play that's worth 2 Doras, right?
And then it would be like 1, 2, 3, and then even 3, 3 could be a pair, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
You know what? I will do that. Or
I think here the hand might be a little bit different. I might want to cut one of the floaters, like maybe finish cutting the 1-3 shape, because now with 6, 7, 8 as our shape, we like, although the 8 pin has a pair on it, right? It's not a confirmed pair,
right?
So we don't necessarily want to cut 1s. But again, I think being in the mindset of going for Tanya, there's only like so bad it can get, right? Like Tanya is a very strong Yaku in this game, especially when the door is usable by Tanya. It can be one of the best things in the game. You have speed and value, everything that you could ever want.
And then I'll call floaty here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, at this point we don't need that, and then we can hold the 1s for some degree of safety with this hand. But now we can see we have a chance at 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku. So another way that we can build value. Yeah.
The Sanshoku killers. The Sanshoku hunters.
Yeah.
Like for me, like to like think Sanshoku, I need to have at least 2 sets that are okay.
Oh, that's a nice draw.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I just cut 8 here?
I would cut the 1s because you don't want to cut this 8 because it's our pair, right? Like if we draw 7s right now, we would get Tenpai.
6, 7.
Or even better, if we draw 5s and then 7s, then we have Tenpai for Sanshoku cutting 4p.
You know what? All the things that I have learned today is that my brain should always think about Sanshoku. I was naive to think Sanshoku all the time. I need to think about Sanshoku all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to miss it every once in a while, but I think it's good to acknowledge it, right? Acknowledge that you have a chance at Sanshoku with some hands, and as long as you see it there, and you can choose to say like, I don't think I have a Sanshoku here for real, and then you can say I'm not gonna go for it. But then other times it'll be like, oh, I think I actually do have a shot at Sanshoku here, I'll go for it. The most important thing is just to see it, right?
Right.
Because maybe 10% of the time you actually get it, and that's 2 Han of value. Most of the time you get close Sanshoku in a hand, you'll instantly jump up to a Mama, and it'll be great.
I see.
So now that it's getting late, I usually like to think about calling into Tenpai. That was the being Tenpai at RKK thing that I was mentioning earlier. So I'll probably take either of the but that's not Tenpai.
Ah!
Okay, it's not the worst case scenario. We would like to get an extra draw, but now that we've entered what's known as headless, and that gives us a much wider acceptance into Tenpai. Yeah. Okay, so we did manage to get Tenpai here. Now, 3S is a little bit unsafer than other tiles. If we cut 8S or 6S here for Tenpai, we're not too concerned about the value of our hand at this point because we're unlikely to win it. So we're more just looking to see if we can get Tenpai here. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, 3S wasn't like awfully unsafe, right? There's sometimes you'd be looking at this board even with no one in Ricci and the 3S would look pretty bad, right?
I think it's just because so much of like souls dropped already. Oh.
Okay. It's a tough one to push.
Oh.
I don't blame you for pushing, even if it deals.
Ah, so stupid.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, and then this is an idea. I think this is like, even though you dealt in here, I think this is a very high level idea that even some pretty dangerous and horrible looking tiles can be pushed if we're pursuing Tenpai. Because at the end of the day, it's guaranteed, if we can get Tenpai, it's guaranteed to win us 2,500 points, right?
Right. Oh
and
my
there's
God,
few hands that are that good, right?
Ooh. Ah! What is going on?
Well, yeah, you have 2 safe tiles that you can cut here.
That is so stupid.
Well, maybe this is an opportunity for us. Double reaching can be hard to fold to sometimes, so maybe one of the other players will slip up and deal in.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We cut them down to size a little, right? Like, and then we can catch them, right? It does feel like crabs in a bucket sometimes when you're fourth fighting third or third fighting fourth, right?
Yeah, no, for real.
But it's better that they get fourth than we do, right?
It's like I learned today that it's you gotta go for Sanshoku. Just look for, or not go for it, but always look for a potential Sanshoku, and then most importantly, throw people under the bus.
Yeah. I have a friend who said, like, whenever somebody volunteers themselves for fourth in a ranked game, you accept their decision and then support them all along the way. So whenever someone deals in, you just say, all right, better you than me, right?
Monsters. Which is, if you like have this, do you just feel like I should go with 7 pairs here?
We can hedge it. I think with that, as with everything in Mahjong hands, we want to hedge. Like, we want to leave the possibility open so we can have it, but we don't necessarily want to commit to it if it hurts us. Right? Right now, this could still be a very normal sequences hand. Like, we have
like 7, 8, 9, 7,
double
8,
sequence, Ipeiko, right? Yeah, and we even have, yeah, like this is a good draw for a normal hand. Now we're Ishan 10 for a normal hand, so I would pick one of the floaters to cut. Yeah, I like this forearm cut because it sets a Suji trap on the 7M. We just saw Shimo deal in on the 7M Suji to the double Ricci, so maybe we can get them on this. Yeah, and otherwise it's symmetrical in acceptance, right? The 4S is also a floating tile, but this gives us the extra bonus of being able to set the Suji trap. So I like this forearm cut.
Keep on talking, make me feel look better. make me look like I am genius. I just need to win. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe this is the time to do the early cut of the dangerous tile.
I think it's okay in this position, but I still would have preferred to cut the 9S because, again, we have one bad shape in the hand, and even though the penchant gives us value, we would like to try and draw like the red 5S or something around and then maybe we can get Pinfu. But you know what? Good work, right? Like now we Sakigiri'd and it's even better, right? We can get safe entry into Tenpai.
Please, now how compared to Sanshoku, how much Mahjong player love the double sequence?
Ipeiko?
Yeah.
I know there's this famous guy who writes a lot of books, Uzaku, who always talks horribly on and Ipeiko. He says like it's bad, but I think there were some people who did computer simulations and basically disproved him and found that Ipeiko was a good thing to hedge for. So yeah, it is a closed only hand, so you kind of stumble into it more than getting it. But I would say it's just like it's just a nice thing to look out for, right? Like if you can get it, you should get it.
I see. I guess it's because once your hand is open, it just goes away. So I guess
Yeah.
maybe Mahjong players are like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
This is
It
messed up,
it
man.
influences. Yeah, like, and you don't want to like necessarily go for closed shapes over it, right? Like if it's like Kanchan Ipeiko or Ryanman for like Pinfu, then definitely take Pinfu, right?
This is messed
But
up.
if you have no other value, then you can take a Sanshoku bad weight over a good weight without the Sanshoku, and even the good weight with the Pinfu. That's because Sanshoku gives you two extra Han rather than just one.
Oh, so you would rather
Yeah.
have
But
Sanshoku with the bad weight than
yeah.
Pinfu, I guess.
Yeah. If I would rather, okay, so I guess like I should clarify. Richi Sanshoku on a bad weight is usually considered better than Richi Pinfu on a good weight. That's if you're like first Richi and it's like a flat score line. But if you add a Dora into the equation, then usually you would prefer Richi Pinfu with the Dora than Richi Dora Sanshoku.
I see.
That's because you can hit Ura Ipatsu and get other sources of value with Richi. So you want the good weight to increase your win rate.
This is messed up. This is messed up. Where are my tiles?
Yeah. It is a little bit unfortunate that we haven't won yet, but 5 AP might be a little bit hard to come
Maybe
out,
it's under the
particularly
river.
AP because they think it's near the Dora.
Maybe it's
But
under
yeah,
the
who
river.
knows? Something's waiting. Something might be waiting for us at the end of the wall.
Oh, give it to me. Oh.
And I guess this is advice that's a little bit outside of the like the game playing thing, but yeah, you mentioned dropping all the way down to Expert 1, and I think a lot of people will experience something like this where they have a catastrophic drop and then they fall a ton of ranks and they feel horrible about the game, like nothing goes their way. The most important thing is that this is a high variance game. The only way to beat it in the long run and to prove that you're more skilled than the lucky players is to play more games. So to pick yourself off, dust yourself off, right? Like spit out some teeth that got knocked out. Right?
That's what I did.
Yeah. And get up and keep playing. That's the strongest skill you can have at the end of the day, right? Take a break if you need to, right? If the game is too mentally taxing and you can't find a healthy way to play it. But if you can pick yourself up and keep playing, you're destined to keep climbing, right? That's the most important skill.
Yeah, I think I took like half a year off. I just didn't play Mahjong at all. I'm like, I'm just taking a break. Yeah. But I'm back.
I did go on for too long on some of the hands, but I was looking through some of the hands, and I was like reviewing them in Mortal, and sometimes I was uncertain about a decision, and then I would go check the Mortal option and what you did, and it would be the same thing, right? Like I'm pretty sure you played one or two hands perfectly, right? Like no mistakes, right?
I do do that. I do playing hand perfectly at least once or twice in a game.
Yeah, so I think you're playing very well.
I just I don't think, I guess there is definitely a difference of like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know why I'm losing stocks, I want to keep on winning. But then if you know what you're doing and you're losing, you're like, well, what can you do? And you don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
I think that's the important part.
Yeah, that's a good mental relief. That's important. Oh, this is an interesting decision right here. Yeah, I think 9p, 7p is fine. The upper Pinzu do look like they're running out. And we kind of want this, like, this 2S gives us the 3S draw, which is very nice. Although it also gives us, like, 2 5S draw to make the pair. But that one's a little less strong because it makes us lose the Dora sometimes. So I think keeping it is fine. And then we have the 7-9p block that we can get rid of. Hopefully we pair up the Dora, though, and decisions are easy. Or draw the 3S, that's also very nice and easy decision.
Please, please, I need it.
Oh, here's an interesting decision. Do you want my recommendation? Or do you want to try?
Sure. Oh wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4.
I would probably cut 2-pin here.
2-pin?
Yeah. The idea is that this gives us Ipeiko. Confirms our Ipeiko. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I think it's important to like think through the decisions yourself and then like look at these shapes. I think there was like again we didn't get to it. I'm sorry, I went on a bit long, but I can send you the logs document. But there was a similar time when you encountered this shape, or basically an analog of this 2 3 4 4 5 5 shape, and unless we need like how we can break it down and see it is it's 2-3-4 and then 4-5-5, right?
Right.
That's the typical way we want to see it. But if we cut 2 off of it, then it becomes 3-4-5, 4-5, right? So we can always just see it as a Ryuanmin and a sequence, which gives us Ipeiko. Or,
I see.
double sequence. Yeah. Unfortunately, when we cut 4S here, we go back to Shantan. So it's going to be a bit harder for us to get
Oh my god, this is crazy. Why the Mahjong god hates me.
Yeah.
The
At this
Mahjong
point,
god hates me.
Yeah. At this point, we can think if we want to call into Tenpai on certain things, and also if we want to fold to this dealer who's called twice.
Oh.
Let's do this. Oh, we've been given a second chance.
God.
So, are you cutting the 2S for a bit of safety?
Rewind the time. Give me the 5 souls back. Oh my god. Oh my god. What can I do?
Over there, by the way, you could cut 5p or 2p Suji if you're willing to risk it for the Ipeiko. I'd probably cut 5p, and you would keep Ishantan. Alright. Let's see. That's safe. Okay, nice. That's 2p. Nice. Oh. Looking a little scary.
Oh.
Yeah. Follow cut the 2p is fine here. I think we should just fold out. We're at 2 Shantan. Yeah. And then look, nice dodge, right?
I mean, obviously, I would not freaking drop the first East with 5 tiles left.
Yeah.
But this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, but this is, I guess, like, the analogy for, like, how you play Mahjong in the long run, where you take punches. I feel like a Hanchan can be like a microcosm of that. You can be like, you can have a terrible beat, you can keep losing your Riichi fights, and everything, and then you're feeling hopeless. But then there's still if you still got hands to play, you still got hands to fight. Like we still got one of our dealerships. We're not that far behind. So as long as we can stay alive and weather the storm and get that one hand that we need, we could
There's
easily.
always
We could easily
blessing
make a
of
comeback.
heaven right around the corner.
Yeah, exactly, right.
With a blessing of heaven, I can be in first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some people are very hopeful when they come to hedging their Yakuman, right? Like they'll play 9 stars with a 3% chance of getting out, but then they look at some positions and they just think they're hopeless. But you have to be like, I think around 20,000 points behind to have a 3% chance of making it out of last, right? And it'd have to be pretty late. So I think having a bit of optimism towards this game, even when it feels like the cards are against you, is really helpful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we mentioned Navitas earlier, one of the best players in the country. I remember when my friends talked about like the way that he plays, he'll be like far behind, but he'll always just think like, okay, it's time to build my condition. If I can build a Riichi, Sumo, Sanshoku, Tanyao with 2 Doras, I get a Baimon Sumo and that could bring me back. And no matter how hopeless it is, he always tries to fight for that condition. And I think that's why he's one of the strongest players, right? Even when the cards are almost stacked against him, he'll look for a way out of the hole, right? And it's being able to fight even when you're that hopelessly far behind that kind of, I think, separates the good from the great.
Did I do it right? I think that's something that you taught me.
Yeah, I like the 8S cut here. I think it's fine. Yeah. Particularly because the 8S is once on the indicator and the 9S is the door. We definitely want to confirm this Ryuanmin sequence, right? Like we want like nothing better than to say this is the Ryuanmin which we'll draw Dora from. Yeah, I was gonna say, with our tournament calling twice.
Murder them! Throw them down under the bus. No!
Yeah. We're happy to see this, right?
Only 2,000. It's okay. Now I'm the dealer. Lock in.
Yeah, one step closer, right?
Give me that 3 dealer sticks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, what a shitty ass starting hand, though. This is so shit!
Yeah, it's a little tough to play, but we'll find a way to make something out of it. Yeah, 9-pin cut's very good. That's exactly what I would cut there. We can see again
something
like
I learned from today. And also one soul doing nothing.
We cut 1S. Yeah, now particularly since the 4S is here, we gotta hold 3 Yakuhais. We might be able to pair them on Pwn, go for another dealer hand, or we could build this hand out closed and then you know, Ricci and get out that way. And even if we lose our dealership, it's not over, right? Like even after 4 draws, our hand's already looking a lot better. Like it's still got a little bit ways to go, but there's like that. No, I would say like there's sometimes people give up hope and then kind of like go for like a faraway Honitsu or something. But there's a lot of power in just building your hand out closed and trying to go for a Rishi Pinfu, like trying to draw some Doras, some Akkas along the way. And if you miss, like so be it. Like you were unlucky anyway. There was probably no way you could dig yourself out. But always pick the most likely way to get yourself out, right?
For the 6, 7, 7, 9 shape, are you kind of like, I do not like, because it's waiting for the overlap tile is 8 mon, right? So because of that, would you like to cut it off early or still keep it in because we're still building our hand?
Yeah, I think your second reasoning is the closest one. I think. Yeah, we're still trying to build out. We don't even consider keeping that 1M because 2M's the Dora. But when building out our hand and we don't have all our blocks confirmed, we can treat the 7-9 as an extra block. It's not a good block, but it is a block. If we manage to spike the 8M draw or even draw the 5M, it's not so bad. But then as it goes later into hand development and we confirm some good blocks and some pairs, then this 9M just becomes more of a liability and we might want to cut it. So for now, we can keep it.
Okay.
But soon, now that we drew this other Ryanman and starting our hand, it's looking like we have our 5 blocks confirmed very soon. We can soon think about cutting this.
9.
This is interesting. I would probably go 7S, but I think 9M is fine too. Either is fine by me. I'm a little bit uncertain here as well. Now, I guess it's like getting a little bit trickier to play now since we have this floating door that's furry 10 on the 1M. Now, my immediate thoughts is probably maximum greed. I'm like, I want to call this hand down. I want to chi 4-pin. I want to chi 3-6S. I want to chi 8M, and then I want to Tonki on the Dora, right?
Okay.
But maybe we can pair up the Dora. So let's see what happens. Okay. This might be a bit early to call.
It's never too early to call. It's never
It doesn't actually advance our Shanten. And if you look, we have blocks blocks confirmed that are 2M. Hey, any way to Dora Tonki is fine by me. I think I did notice that you like to call a lot, which is good. And then most of the time it's like calling to look for Tanya. I think some people like some people say it's like a noob trap, and when people start out and they say like, oh, like if you're just calling it down for Tanya all the time, you don't know how to play the game. But I actually disagree with this advice a little. I think it's actually good to see the Tanya in as many hands as possible, right? I think that you can get away with a lot when playing Tanya. Yeah, probably take this.
Give me the tile. Give me the tile. Dang you. I honestly I try to open my hand as much as I can whenever it makes sense and be aggressive because I think it pays out being aggressive. And I think thanks to that I tend to win a lot more in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's good to take the initiative. Yeah. But I think an important thing to consider when calling your hand open is if the call actually advances Shanten, or if it's a tile that you would be struggle to get otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I think it's good in general to be like if you're looking for good like Tanya calls, right? And then I guess it's like the contradictory advice that I give, because the other advice that I give a lot of the time is that you stay closed and build Ricci, because Ricci is very powerful. Hey, that's nice. You drew around it. Yeah. I guess 2P and 3P. I'm most worried about dealing into Shimo right now because that would be catastrophic, and both of them look about equally safe. I guess 3P looks a little bit safer to Toyman, so I might go 3P first to avoid having to cut a tile that might deal into Toyman. Here. Yeah, and then also here, I think it's a little bit late to cut this 3P. Yeah. And that's what I was explaining, that was a concept I was trying to explain earlier about, when it gets late, you don't actually want to Sakigiri tiles because they're likely to deal in.
That's crazy. They had 2-2-4-5?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's unfortunate. 2-2, I forgot what their cut into temp was. Yeah, 2-2, 2-2-4-5, and they pwned it and they had a pair somewhere else. Yeah.
I think they might have just cut something that was just floating, I think.
Okay, it's all right. It's not over for us yet. We're still within striking distance. Like 6,000 points means that we can reach Isumodora, and then we can be right on dealer's tail once again.
To be fair, my hand has been really, really bad, and also early deal in, like the early deal in sucked with the automatic discard and especially it was red 5. It's just like it's almost like a lottery, right? It's like the chances for that to happen.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate sometimes. But I think you played all those hands where you dealt it or lost the hands after you got Tenpai were just unfortunate.
Wah.
Okay.
I would like
Let's see
to
what we can do
start
with
with
this hand.
some good sequence. Zero sequence
Yeah, we have some bad
kinda
shapes
hurts. Jeez. Jesus!
Okay. Yeah, here I think I like to cut the 6-pin from what I was basically explaining earlier. Like we want to reinforce this 899 bad shape, and the Ramen is strong enough on its own. Right?
I see. Oh. But wouldn't it, I guess, yeah. But if I draw 7-pin, but wouldn't it be like 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, you could see it like that, but then you would lose your pair as well. And yeah, we do need a pair with this hand. We don't have any other pairs or a pair right now.
Or maybe cut the 5 and then have 6, 6, 8, 8 to be the 2 pair.
Well, we don't want to cut the 5 because it's giving us 4, 7. Okay, that's a nice draw. So what you go with here?
So I guess it would be like this.
Yeah, 6 looks good to me. Now, this is technically 6 blocks, but I think it's a good place to 6 block when you have bad shapes. You just see which one of the bad shapes fills first, and you cut one of the bad shapes that you don't want, right?
It do be a bad. Oh, then we don't want that, right?
Yep, just cut it back. I think that's a good idea. Same, like, this doesn't really improve. It gives us a floater to draw improvements around, but again, that's a bit slow at this point. It's starting to get late. Okay.
What the frig? Do we keep it?
No, I think it's fine to cut it back. The same idea as before, right? It's a bad floater. The other idea, actually, another idea that we could do is cut 2-1M because 3M has been discarded a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely the weakest of our shapes. Okay. Yeah. See what you do. Yeah, I would probably just evacuate here. Our hand is 2 Shanten, unfortunately, and even though we're last, we probably have to fold this because if we deal in his manga, we just die. And that's not good.
Kill them! No! Why would you?
Yeah. And it seems like the player across from us also wants to get a piece of it. I would be careful because if you notice the player across pushed push the first red dragon, so it looks like they're trying to push into this Ricci. So we should also try and discard tiles that are safe to both of them.
If they're going half flush or full flush, be my guest and deal in. I will give you the tile, all the tiles until the last tile.
Yeah, and now it looks like dealer is also pushing. Yeah.
No thanks.
So even if I have to pay everyone for Tenpai here, I don't want to risk anything that could deal me in here. And I mean, if dealer is volunteering to push against Ricci, I'm happy to see them fall.
Deal in, deal in, deal in. Oh, what the hell? All that way for West?
The 9 has just passed the Dora.
Oh.
Oh yeah. The player across when you drop it.
Oh, you know what? There you go.
Okay, yeah, and we got out safely, right? And well, it didn't make our point situation better. At the very least, our point situation isn't worse, right?
It's worse. I have 1,000
well,
less points.
Well, I guess relative to the player on our right. Okay, this hand looks like it goes somewhere.
What the frig? Oh, but West is, I don't know. My defense is that the West was dropped, and I'm not a big believer.
Yeah. I'm most likely going to play this hand and try and go for a Ricci because while we could win 1,000 and the pot and improve our position going into all last, I always like to think of South 3 as like an all last light. So whatever condition we would want in all last, we would want here as well. So we want to overtake our Shimocha, the player on our right. We want to overtake right now as well. All right. Want to go 1S here?
1S?
I kind of like to, yeah. The idea here is we start walking towards Tanya, right?
Okay.
This is the only
Okay, so that we
block in
can
our hand
have
that's
one
not
extra
compatible with
Han in our.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, it's like it's
And that
kind of
extra Han is very
embarrassing, but then
valuable.
like I cannot really see my my own hand because there's like the I have my face capturing thing. It's like, I have
see,
to
I
like
see.
reach over to see, and this is exactly where the phone is. So it's like
Oh, I see.
it's really
Yeah.
funny.
So if anything goes wrong, it's not your fault. You can just
Yeah. I'm like
blame
kind of
the
half
streamer
blind right
debuff.
now. Usually I don't play
Yeah.
like this. And if I do
Yeah.
play, I move the phone away so I can see my hand clearly, not like half blind. Like,
Hey, nice. Another step closer to Tanya.
okay, we cooking. And I think this is, like you said, it's like a basically last wind. I'm like a bulldozer. Nothing's gonna stop me. If someone call Ricci, I don't give a F. I'm my way or highway. This is make it or break it.
Yeah. Yeah, in South 4, like there's some like basically the idea is like I guess as it gets closer to South 4, your conditions become more extreme. Like once it gets to South 4 and you're in last, there's pretty much absolutely no reason to fold. But in South 3, like I guess like it would be called backwards induction. There would be almost no reason to fold, right? So you might fold some hands if you're facing something extremely threatening because it's not completely life or death, but it's pretty close to life or death.
Okay.
Nice. We're getting the draws we need.
Do we just discard which one? 8?
8S or 5S, either is fine. I usually follow cut 5S, but you could also cut 8S to avoid like 5S could feed a 2/5 chi on our right that we don't want to do.
Oh.
It's very minor. I guess other factor to consider is Uradora. Oh, or I guess there is a Sancho Kutra as well.
Should we go?
You do want to keep that 6 pin. I would rather, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So
So for the 4, 5, 6.
If we had the 8S still, then we would cut 4 pin and go for the Sanchoku. Yeah, it might have been worth hedging from the start. Oh, wait, you can cut 3S here. I'll explain in a second. The idea is like you see, like we're pulling this shape in to try and go in the direction of Ipeco. If we draw 4S or 7S, we can get the double sequence or Ipeco.
I gotta have like my eyes out for the double sequence and triple. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Nice.
I'm just do it. Just do it.
Yep.
Earlier the better.
There's no regrets left to have, right?
Earlier the better.
Mm-hmm.
If you,
Oh,
if you, that's messed up. You're a monster.
Well, hopefully they choose to fold to the dealer first. Like the player on our left here actually hasn't would like to see us win, so they might purposefully deal the 7M knowing it's dangerous to us, but it's safe to dealer because they absolutely don't want to see the dealer win.
Feed the
yeah, and it also puts our Shimocha, the player on our right, in a very tough spot. They have to fold the 2 hands here, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of mutual safety to choose from here. Well, yeah, we're like even like let's just say it goes to draw, we get another hand to play because the dealer will wrench on and go for another hand.
I have a baby hand. You can deal in. You can deal into me. I just don't want to be the last. I just don't want to be the last. I'm so close to rank up. Please. I work so hard.
Yeah, that's another thing about online rank. Oh no.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Where's our sumo defense?
Oh, it's Hanemon. That's unfortunate. We're dying right here. Or it's more than Hanemon. It's Baimon.
Oh my, there's 2. Oh my. Where's our Baimon? Where's my Baimon? Yeah. Oh my.
That's unfortunate.
I'm rating this, coach! 0 out of 5. I'm rating this coach minus 163.
僕は攻めるのも割と得意
No!
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. Particularly that their hand was so expensive. And I think they still, I don't know if they,
crazy.
yeah, they might have not even I mean, I guess they reached and went for top, which is understandable. Yeah, that was a brutal reaching, and that was very unfortunate. I don't think he made too many bad mistakes there. It just seemed like a game in which
Yeah,
we were
I mean,
helpless.
we started with so much of like nothing, like so many rounds. We just didn't start with anything, like not even Yakuhai, not even Dora. I don't even think I started with any of the red fives. Like it was just total utter garbage. And then like in the game like that, I'm not even mad. I'm just like, oh well, I guess I have to win 2 games to kind of put it back up where I am. But what can you do? Like that's just the way it goes. But yeah, I'm like we did like so much, like this was like a really long lesson. But thank you so much. Do you want to plug before we say goodbye?
Yeah, sure. If you want to follow me or watch me play Mahjong, I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/ThatPandaSpy. I have a YouTube channel of the same name, but I don't really post anything important there. And then if you also would like to be coached by me, I'm happy to do it. Contact me on ThatPandaSpy on Discord. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I guess I can also send you. I had a few other notes in the document. I can just send that to you now. And,
okay.
If you have any questions about it, you can ask me later. We didn't get to cover all of it. I probably should have planned a bit for time, but I guess I had more to say than I expected.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for hosting this.
Thank you. I will end the call and then I will secretly tell the viewers your score. I don't even know,
Okay,
but you will have to wait for the video to go live to know your secret.
Well, I'm very excited to watch it. Yeah, and again, thanks for doing this. I think it's a great thing for the community to like get this good. You have to get a interaction and then like promote like coaching and show off some
gotta
some
help
good ways
out
to
my
learn this game.
Mahjong community, man. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, I will catch
so
you
much
later.
Yep. See ya. Goodbye.
Bye. All right. Honestly, I'm going to rate my rating system is going to be out of 10, and it's definitely going to be vibe based. It's not gonna be like breakdown with percentage added here and there. I think that's way too technical, and I would like to be vibe based, and it's just for fun. It's not going to be like the ultimate, like it's not. I'm not gonna be the Rotten Tomato about it. But honestly, ThatPandaSpy, it's kind of unfortunate that you are the first coach that is going to be on this series, and people who comes after you is going to be probably measured like oh, this in this part it was better, in that part it was not so much. But honestly, I'm seeing this like note, this coach even like went out taking notes about play, even like watching the replays beforehand, and wasn't even shy about like kind of like when you're teaching, sometimes you get a little shy about, am I giving too much information? Am I making the student being more confused because I'm giving too much information? But the ThatPandaSpy was not doing like that, and I liked it. And kind of keeping up with like, am I giving you too much information? Making sure the student is like following along. If the terminology is too difficult and whatnot. It was just so very thoughtful, and it was so nice. When I played, so as you saw, I played the 2 South games with Panda, and we were in voice call, and I was, smacking, just smack talks, and like, you should deal in, this is crazy, like, that kind of stuff, and it was really funny. I didn't realize he would be such a detailed, amazing coach. I would give 9 carrots out of 10, and I think, oh, you know what? How about bamboos, not carrots, because you're a panda. 9 bamboos out of 10. That's my vibe-based score. You were a fantastic coach. I think, especially if you're looking for I have learned a lot today, and honestly, the takeaway for me, like the easiest takeaway, it's obviously kind of hard to get all that details, the repeated pairs and cutting in like the not necessarily the inside numbers, but in that specific shapes, and also ones and nines that does nothing. Like that was really good, but I think the easiest takeaway is that always try to go for, even if it's forceful, go for the 3 sequence or even the double sequence. Not double sequence, not so much, but always keep your eye out for 3 consecutive sequences. Because I understand why mahjong players are like almost in love with it a little too much, but I understand it perfectly now because it gives you so much more points, or I guess easier to bring your hand value that much. So yeah, I learned many new things, and it was really amazing. Thank you again to ThatPandaSpy. Go follow ThatPandaSpy, and next coach is actually going to be Irie, and it's actually going to be tomorrow, and I'm very excited. I'm hoping that I learned a lot from this coaching sessions, and you too, viewers, are learning a lot of stuff. If you have any questions, I'm sure if you were to leave comment below, everyone would love to answer the questions. And if there were some terminologies that it was hard to follow, let me know. I'll do my best to explain it to you guys. But thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this long video, but I will see you guys next time. Bye!